What's up, gentlemen? Hopefully you can see the screen fairly well. So I decided to get fancy since Tom called and was interested too. So I appreciate it, you guys. But you'd be the first two that I'm teaching this stuff to, so I'm excited to do it. But also I want your help to obviously I'm here to make it as simple as possible because it is pretty hardcore stuff. It's not hard, but it's just takes time. It's like doing sit-ups. Like, they're easy, but at the same time, it's hard. So kind of the same analogy. So anyway, I know you guys want these three things. You want more leads, you want immediate sales, and you want your current customers to continue to come back more frequently and hopefully, for more quantity. So none of this is difficult. None of it is particularly weird, and it's not expensive. But it's a different way of thinking, and most people do not think this way. See, our human brains are wired a certain way to make purchases. So you have to flow with the river and not against the current. So you want to make things easy for yourself. So just throw the raft out in the river and float down with it. Don't swim upstream. You're going to just wear yourself out. So what you really want is a predictable sales process, and especially one that works for you 24/7. And this is basically, in a nutshell, the psychology behind it. So here we go. All of this that I'm showing you is designed to help your marketplace, to demonstrate that you can actually help them by actually helping them. As I've said before, there's 3 levels of influence. The first 2 are ones that your competitors rely on. We're definitely not using these first 2, but the first one is what they say about their product. Hey, look at me, I'm great, my products are amazing, blah, blah, blah. Who the hell wants that guy? And then you got level 2, which is what they say that others say about their product. Hey, look at all this social proof. My God, I must be amazing. I have 1 million testimonials saying how great I am. That is a scumbag salesman that you and I, all of us, make fun of. And then obviously there's the third level of influence, and that one is the underutilized, ever powerful, and it's almost undefeatable, which is demonstrate your product or service. So basically showing results in advance. So everything we do focuses on demonstration that we can help them, because that is literally the best thing you can do in your marketplace to generate leads. Now, the most important 2 words in that sentence was the most important thing to do to, I quote, generate leads. That's the whole goal. You want to generate leads. So the easiest way to generate leads is to demonstrate how you can help them, showing results in advance. So it causes people to decide for themselves that they want to buy your stuff, and it also takes you away from being a traditional salesperson, and it puts you in a much better position. So let's get started with these pictures here. We're going to start on the bottom with that triangle. Now, this is probably the worst thing to do, is draw a triangle that has to do with the internet, but it ain't a pyramid scheme, trust me. So the very bottom is Generalist, and the easiest way to think of this is as in the medical field, as your general doctor that you go to see for a sore throat or for a migraine, or maybe asthma. So if you had any of those symptoms, you would just go to the regular doctor. He would treat you. He's the bottom of the barrel doctor. So pretty simple. Above that, you have the specialist. Now, a great analogy for that is like Grandpa with his heart. So he had a heart doctor specialist. So a heart doctor specialist fixing hearts is obviously on a higher scale pay grade than your general doctor subscribing cold medicine. So, pretty simple. Now, the third one is what we call authority. And these top three are primarily have been not really invented, they've been around, but with the power of social media, it really makes it easy for guys like you and I to hold these positions if we do our social media right. So these next three positions, each one is escalating, and it's exclusivity, if I said that right, and it attracts money attraction. So the first one of the three, so it would be the third one up, is called authority. Possibly one of the most influential market positions one could ever hold. That person of authority tells us to do something. We often unquestionably do it because they told us to. For like the doctor situations, hey, the man in the white coat said we are supposed to do this, so surely we must do it. So a good analogy for this one is to think about COVID-19, the pandemic. I mean, we all literally just did what we were told because of the people of authority on television, the doctors, so on and so forth. So that is authority. Now the next one is celebrity. So a good example for this one is going to be, since Tara is big into working out and health, Kim Kardashian has a workout DVD. So obviously this woman is worth over $1 billion. But why does she have a workout DVD? Well, most of us can think of at least a couple people, like personal trainers, who are in a million times better shape than Kim Kardashian. But why is Kim Kardashian, who has this big butt and lower body, selling workout DVDs? Well, it's because she's a celebrity, and she's got a higher position of value, which is pretty funny because obviously, like, your local neighborhood personal trainer here in Dubuque, or Mallory and Holly has one out here in Piasta, is way more qualified. But since Kim Kardashian is clearly not a fitness expert, but yet she still can sell probably millions of dollars worth of exercising DVDs, whoever created that DVD was smart by hiring her. But even though it's funny, it's a fact of life, and we can't fight this, so we might as well work within this natural current. So remember the river analogy: flow with the river, not against its current. So then the one that is at the very top, which is the highest paid position, is the celebrity authority. It's a combination of celebrity and authority. So the example for this one is Donald Trump. Might not be a fan of him, but he's a great example of this. So Donald Trump is an authority of business, and he is also famous. So he is both a celebrity and a authority. So this one is the most magnetic to money. And since there's so much advantage of using social media, I highly recommend that you choose one of the top three: authority, celebrity, or celebrity authority, to be your positioning. Because with social media, it's your own channel and you can broadcast 24/7. So as you get followers and you're always showing up, you're technically going to be a celebrity authority within your niche. So that's how you get that positioning. So it's actually really cool. But as I said, I recommend the top one, celebrity authority, because it's the most magnetic to money. So you're probably wondering, what does this triangle have to do with these boxes that are above it? And that's what we're about to go into. So there is two correlating simultaneously processes that occur during a business campaign. So just like a politician out campaigning for votes, you're doing the same thing as a business owner except you're exchanging your quality of service or product for money. So it's the same concept. So you're campaigning. So the top 3 boxes up here, I don't know if you can see my mouse. So process number 1 is pre-framing plus indoctrination plus conversion. The bottom 3 is desire and trust plus emotion plus rationalization. So both of these processes will lead over here to the far right, which is conversion, which is obviously money. So, and they also lead you further establishing your positioning, building goodwill, and further providing value to your marketplace. So how does this relate to our mission to get you leads and convert these leads into money? So let's get started. So top left, pre-framing simply means what people think of you before they ever get a chance to give you money. So you're not going to be giving them a chance, or you're not even asking for money. You are just trying to pre-frame them that they like you. So you're just pre-framing yourself that you're cool. So an example for this is like you hear about this really, really good restaurant and it's amazing, right? So you are so excited to go there, and you're only worried about these 3 things. You're only worried about whether if you can get in, how long the wait is, and whether if the special is going to be on the menu tonight. You're not even thinking about or worried about the money, because your desire is so high that you're only worried about whether if you can even get the experience. So you want to create that anticipation in your own marketing. We want people to think you're awesome because we want to get people to think that you're awesome before they ever come into your sales process is what I'm talking about. So the middle one on the top is indoctrination, which is essentially is what happens after they enter your sales process. So everything from this line right here and before is just pre-framing. It's just you're being cool, you're providing goodwill, you're educating them, you just want them to get that idea that you're a cool person. Everything after this line is meaning they, I'm sure you're familiar with giving your phone number and email. We'll get into more of that later, but at this line here, that's what you did. They self-identified that they are interested in what you got. So once they enter your sales process, you can start indoctrinating them. So as I said, in indoctrination, you're basically just demonstrating that you're awesome, you're wanting to help them, that you're there for them. It's just being a good person, which is the levels of influence that we talked about earlier. And this will cause them to say, hey, I want to give this person money. I trust him. This is where you build like and trust. So the first one, pre-framing, is know. I think I told you guys both, like, you got to get people to know, like, and trust you. So pre-framing is getting people to know you, and indoctrination is all about like and trust. That's where that is built. So let's get over here to the C. So finally, we got conversion. And this is simply you're converting a self-identified lead from pre-frame. You're converting that person into a paid customer. Now there's 4 different ways, or there's 4 different mechanisms for conversion. So I'll start from the top. You can use a sales letter. You know, this is printed sales copy that you would read, and it would convert somebody into a paid customer. You could do, if you're good on video, you can do a video sales letter. Basically, you're doing a sales letter on video. If you're still, good on camera. You can do a webinar or an on-demand class where you're teaching them something. And then, obviously, I mentioned to both of you, and this is the same conversion mechanism for me, it's a one-on-one consultation where I get on the phone or a Zoom call, or sometimes I do it in person, but we do a one-on-one consultation. So those are your 4 conversion mechanisms. So this is how you convert a potential lead into a paid customer. So most of your competitors are only going to be thinking about their conversion mechanism, and usually it's some type of advertising or cold calling, which is all dead. So while they're working on just turning a little bit of buyers who are ready to buy today into paid customers, you have this whole system of pre-framing and indoctrinating people that are buying yet today, buying next week, they might be buying next month, or they're buying 6 months from now. But they're indoctrinated with how cool you are and how helpful you are. So nobody is doing it this way, and it's very smart. All right. So another example is to what makes this process really work. It's pre-framing and indoctrinating potential leads via organically or paid advertising. So if someone self-identifies up here in the pre-frame and they give your information, they give you their cell phone number and email address, and they're interested in your lead magnet, so they already think you're awesome, so they like you, and then you further indoctrinate them even more to think that you're great. You know what your conversion mechanism can be? They're going to like you so much, your conversion mechanism could be literally this one sentence: hey, give me some money. That would still turn potential buyers into paid customers. So everything works in harmony. All right, before we finish up, we still got these last 3 boxes. So we have desire and trust plus emotion plus rationalization equals money. This is the psychological kind of mechanisms, the mechanical series of things that have to happen in the human brain that must occur to turn a lead into a paid customer. If they have desire and trust, but there's no emotional bond, there's no fire behind them to really drive that wanting to buy your stuff. If they can't rationalize the decision, so for example, a lot of people desire a Chevy Corvette, and they trust that Chevy Corvette is an awesome car, but they can't rationalize spending over $100,000 on a 2-seater sports car, right? Even if they have the money, they just can't rationalize it. So I could literally pay cash for a Chevy Corvette. But what would Tara say? Hey, honey, I bought a Corvette today. I know we got 3 kids, but I went out and bought one anyway. It just isn't going to happen. I cannot rationalize that purchase. So you have to put your prospect through that desire and trust, build that emotion, and they have to rationalize the purchase decision to spend money with you. So every step that I talk about in the future plays a very important role in this process of these 2 processes of pre-frame, indoctrination, and conversion, and the desire and trust, emotion, and rationalization. And this might be over your guys' head right now, but once you really understand this, and it's like it'll hit you like a brick shithouse one day, you will be able to get whatever you want. And whether if you're selling shoes, boats, semis, t-shirts, insurance, it's all relevant. Every one of these customers for any of those examples has to go through this mental process to write out the check at the end of the day to pay for those items. We go through it ourselves when we buy things. Tommy, like especially with you with hunting, I mean, you put anything that has to do with hunting in front of you, you're just mesmerized. You're indoctrinated. Um, you can do the same thing when you're selling shirts. Same thing when you sell insurance, Aaron. If you position yourself with the triangle below, and if you position yourself, you will succeed with writing your own check. And when I mean writing your own check, I mean you want to make a 20 grand this month. All you got to do is just turn up this amp and do this process with more people. You want to take a month off? Go ahead. You come back to work after that month, turn that amp back up, run your herd of customers through this process. You're going to do great. So I'm going to try to do one of these every day for you guys for a while, just to kind of get your head wrapped around. I don't expect you guys to know this stuff like I do. You just need to know the mechanics of it. Um, you just need to know it from like a 20,000 foot view. That's really all. You always got me to obviously reference from, but this stuff is literally gold. I'm not trying to toot my horn, but it is gold. Bye.